course, our Yangsheng class is fundamentally about, it's fundamentally a teaching about conduct. What do we actually do with our bodies, habits, and choices in a particular moment of time? Not because there's one permanently correct way to behave, like, when people come in with these protocols and I'm doing a cleanse, or should I do the food list for this Ayurvedic you know what I mean? Those all can be great, but there isn't one permanently correct way to behave for all people, or one protocol that's perfect for each segment of time, or one perfect one for your constitution. It's about appropriateness and how it changes according to conditions, with the season in mind, with your constitution in mind, with your personal imbalance in mind. So this is where Yang Sheng connects with our ongoing conversation about fate and free will. Fate is often experienced as compulsion, the familiar thing we automatically do because of temperament or history or family or culture, habit, karma. Um, Alignment in time can loosen some of that compulsion because we gain another source of information besides what I always do. When a fate pattern loosens, what appears is not necessarily immediate bliss. Sometimes what appears is simply space. The usual push, the usual I know exactly what needs to happen next isn't there. So we want the freedom, but the freedom doesn't have, sometimes that certainty is very comforting. And if we aren't accustomed to or practiced on that kind of spaciousness, we may immediately fill it up with another habit, project, relationship, or another problem, or another identity, right? So part of cultivation is knowing what to do when fate isn't telling us what to do, to read the time. And, another thing that I want to talk about is that freedom does not necessarily mean I can do anything I want, you know? There's a fairly immature version of freedom in American culture that looks like this. Nobody tells me what to do, right? Therefore, I should be able to follow whatever impulse I have because I'm showing off how free I am. Anyone who has a teenager lives with this, you know. But following every impulse isn't necessarily freedom at all. It may simply mean that appetite is driving the car. Appetite is fate. So an ordinary example would be you finish work. It's 5 o'clock. The sky is beautiful. And you usually sit outside and have a beer. I don't know, something like that, right? There's nothing wrong with beer. And maybe you genuinely want one. But would you even notice if tonight you didn't, right? Could work simply be finished? Could the evening simply be beautiful? Could there be an opening in which nothing in particular had to happen next? That's what we're talking about, right? That tiny gap is very interesting. Freedom may not feel like infinite possibility. It may simply feel like an absence of drive. And from there, we can ask something more useful than, what do I feel like doing? It can be more like, what's actually appropriate now? But we want to take the kind of Ten Commandments edge, that should, off of it. And that's what we're trying to look at and deconstruct. So this is a particularly relevant issue as we enter autumn because Yang has spent months expanding outward. It's been showing us what to do, right? Especially in a Yang fire horse year. Um, Now it has to know how to yield, not collapse, disappear, or fail, but simply recognize that the time of endless expansion is ending. Autumn gives us practice in stopping without treating stopping as failure.